Hi everyone, welcome. Out here on the bench, there's a couple of my worm bins all set to go, ready to be fed. These are my mixed red worms. It's a combo of red wigglers, European night crawlers, and blue worms living in these systems. And it's a good mix of worms. They work well together, complement each other's strengths and weaknesses. And these are the systems where we've been feeding nothing but coffee. And, when we say nothing but coffee, I give myself a bunch of latitude on that sort of restriction. So coffee, yes, but also worm chow usually to kind of spice up the coffee a little bit. And when it comes to bedding, the bedding I've got free range, as much latitude as I wish to pick and choose what kind of bedding to use. You may have noticed this off on the edge of the screen. These are those, well, they're not styrofoam, but I guess they're meant to appear like those styrofoam peanuts, packing peanuts. The styrofoam recoils. I just noticed that when you crush these, they stay crushed, almost like a piece of breakfast cereal. I guess looking at these things, they're meant to be shaped like little Christmas trees. I guess hence the green color, and they're compostable supposedly. I wasn't going to be using these again today, but these are what we used sort of experimentally last time. I was going to use that green tissue paper that you saw sitting there next to the packing peanuts. I figured if the stuff was well received by the wormies, then maybe we can do something with it. I feel like I've still got enough of this stuff over there to perhaps come up with some sort of an interesting idea. See, we tried to mark our feeding zones here. When I rewatched the video, it did seem like I was able to recover from almost forgetting to lay out the feeding zone indicators. I pulled these coffee filters out of the pile of collected old food items like pumpkin stems and corn cob fragments and whatnot, and what I pulled out of here I think was something other than it was definitely a paper product, but I don't think it was the coffee. Here's the coffee filter. That's what I was looking for. I had intended to rest that out on the top of the feeding as its feeding zone indicator, but I think I had rested something else out there. More corn cob. You're going to find similar items, more pumpkin stem, and whatnot. We've taken a departure now from always feeding down the middle, and I'm going to follow suit with what we did last time too, which is to spread the foods out a little bit better than we normally do. We don't spread them out much at all in my typical feedings by laying out a trench in the center of the bin across here and just submerging the foods down there. The feeding that they're going to get today is going to be spread out all over the place. Last time I took these little peanuts and I took a good healthy handful of them and laid them out here, and I don't see any sign of it. I don't see anything that would resemble green. I mean, yeah, I've disturbed all of it already at this point, but here's perhaps a section or two that I've not yet disturbed out here on the edges. I've got a feeling that by having all that recirculating moisture underneath the plastic covers going on, that stuff pretty much melted away. I took a couple of those and I placed them into a little, thing of water. Actually, I think it might have been this container here where I've even got a few fragments of this stuff. I dropped one into a little bit of standing water, and by the next day the majority of it had all just melted away, making a green liquid. So stuff is totally water soluble. And here again I find myself just falling back to habit, I guess, of trying to dig down the middle, expecting that that's where the feeding's going to be. But like I said before, it's not where we fed. But I do want to dig down more for inspecting the material and its moisture. We poured in some moisture last time, and it almost seemed to me like I could have been more generous when I rewatched the video and saw how much moisture I added. It felt like I could have given them more. I didn't know quite what to expect, but then again, 213-day-old systems are mature enough already. There's a high enough concentration of worm castings blended into this vermicompost that the stuff really starts to become very capable of hanging on to its moisture content. Out here on the surface, stuff will get dry, especially around the outer edges where the bubble wrap sheet fails to cover the material. But once you get below that dry stuff, here's an example of undisturbed. You pull back a little tiny bit, and you're already down into, you know, material that the worms are comfortable being in. And clearly the springtails are comfortable being in too, which is usually an indicator of plenty of moisture. Springtails really do seem to thrive on a good bit of moisture. So, I don't know why, it just felt like a good aeration would do the system good, and I was also very curious of moisture. I've got my jug of water here, all set to go. So I figured we'd be generous with moisture again, but don't have to be more generous than we were last time. Perhaps I was giving them an ample amount and not going overboard, and that was plenty. We don't have to go overboard. So I've dragged all of our found items, large slow composting objects that each bin has a couple of. Drag them down into the middle. Let's give bin number 2 a similar aeration and at the same time inspection. I think it was even, yeah, I think it was the same story last time too, where it was the inspection of bin number 2 where I really sort of revealed my observation of perhaps there being a little bit of drying going on, and perhaps how adding some moisture would be beneficial to not only here but both bins, but here it did seem like it was more so. So it definitely makes sense to come in and give them moisture again, but I'm not going to go beyond what I gave them last time. I think it was just a, you know, a good healthy splash. Pouring maybe, I don't know, I can't even quantify it really, but probably no more than a cup going into each system. In the past I would often take you know, my spray bottle, and I would, you know, spray the wand and try to spread it all over the place and make sure the water's dispersed equally all over the place within the systems. And more recently I've been finding that taking a much simpler approach to adding moisture works well enough that I can start doing it here. I see other people do it too, so they just grab water and drop it in. And you know, since I've already done the majority of our tilling around here, let's also see if we can fold in a little housekeeping, get some of this material off my glove and back down into the system. I think it's also beneficial to add moisture to a system like this for a couple reasons. With the, you know, as you saw earlier, the dry around the edges is because the bubble wrap doesn't go all the way out to the edges. So that stuff's going to get dry. It is what it is. My other systems I use plastic bags in a lot of cases, which definitely is a little bit bigger and reaches all the way out, covering the entire top surface of the systems. And like, even if I were to add no moisture to this piece of tissue, other than what it's getting off of my glove here a little bit, just the recirculation of the moisture within the system beneath the plastic cover would dampen it to the point where it might even be damp enough that the worms will begin to nibble on it. And that's really what I'd like to see if I could promote, is getting the worms to nibble on it. So I was going to drop their food right on top of this stuff right here. And I don't know, as far as moisture goes, should I just do the lazy approach to adding yet more, and at this point getting it onto this paper so it doesn't have to be dry? Oh boy, splish splash. Good enough. Let's get the food in here. So got almost a whole container of this coffee, so let's sprinkle that out here on top. And let's save some for the other system here too. I think we've been pretty generous on the coffee, but we're not even done yet with today's feeding. That is quite a bit of food. We're also going to add a little bit of my worm chow. And it seems like, I don't know, it seems like one thing that might have been getting overlooked in both of these systems over the past few check-ins was grit. I can't recall if I've been putting grit in or not, but today I figured I'd come equipped with a little hint of that too, just in case the worms might need some. So we've really gone the full spectrum of possible needs, from grit to food to bedding to moisture. I think we're pretty well covered. Feeding zone indicators, well, you know, we tried to recover ones from last time and sort of get them into service for one last go. But since there was certainly none of those left at this point. I mean, there was, but not enough to use this way. Coming in with nice new replacement feeding zone indicators. In this case, each system gets 2. This had originally been thought of as a possible idea, was to, you know, give them bedding, but the bedding would always be only coffee filters and nothing else. Well, that was an interesting idea. I love it when people give me interesting ideas, but it did seem like that would restrict us a bit. And hey, if we had gone that route, then this stuff never would have made it in as bedding. So bedding is my license to be creative here. So who knows? Maybe someday we'll revive the idea the next time we do coffee-only systems. So that's it for the check-in, everyone. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, as always, please don't forget to leave me a quick thumbs up before you go. That's always really appreciated. And if you haven't done so already, please also consider subscribing to the channel. That's very much appreciated as well. All right, everyone. Have a great day. Thanks for watching. Bye now.